Hi, welcome to Madras Academy. In this session, we are going to learn about PHP forms. In last sessions, we already covered how to print the message, how to handle the variables, functions, arrays, operators. These are all the concepts we already covered. I hope you understand that all the concept. Right now, in this session, I am going to teach about forms. HTML forms. Using HTML5, how to create the login form and calculation form. We'll take any one of the theme and based upon that we will create the programs here. Okay, and first I will teach you how to create the login form and as well as calculation form using HTML5 without JavaScript validation. How to develop these forms using HTML5, we will see that. First, we will see how to create the HTML form. What is the difference between a get and post method? What is front end and the back end? And how to get the value from the front end to back end. These are all the concepts we are going to cover in this session. For this, I'm going to take one theme. First, I'm going to create the login form and as well as one calculation form. So once I enter the username and the password in login form, I need to check, and if it is valid, I'm going to redirect to the next page. Okay, like that kind of event I'm going to create it in this login form. And in calculation form, after calculating the value, I need to display the result in a PHP page. And how to do this event in using front end and the back end, we'll see that. Let's start the practical session. First, we'll open the Visual Code. Here I already created the folder, PHP form, like that I created one folder. In this, I'm going to open the Visual Code editor. And the first page, we have to create index.php. Okay. So we'll write the basic HTML code, DOC. Okay, and this is the welcome page. Just I give the title as welcome, and I created one div tag. Okay, and inside that div tag, I'm going to create one PHP tag. First, we'll give one welcome message. Okay, so echo welcome to login form. Okay, so this message I'm going to write inside the h1 tag. Okay, so for that I'm writing h1 tag and then I'm printing the message welcome to login form. This is the index page code. First we'll run this. Go to the browser. Here I created the page, and next we'll open the browser. Here it is on browser, and once I click this, I will get the welcome message and title. Okay, so now the page is executed successfully. We'll create the login form. Okay, so here I'm going to create the form, and in form we have two types. I already told you, no, get and post. Okay, and what is the difference between get and post? We'll see that. Before that, first I will use only form. Just I'm creating form, and I'm not going to use the get and the post method. I will tell you later this one. Okay, first I will give the form, and here I'm not going to create the backend file right now. I'm not having any backend file, so for that action I'm going to give hash. Okay, so once I create the backend, in that time we need to give the file name. That I will do it later. At present I'm using hash symbol. Okay, and here I'm going to create the table tr and the tv. Okay, and here I'm going to write the label This is for the username. Okay, so username, like that I will write it. And here input type equal to text, name equal to, this is a username, right? Username. And we need to write the required attribute. Mandatorily we have to enter the username. So like this I created one text box and a label. First we'll see this output. Okay, like this it will display. And you can enter any username, whatever you name you have to fix it for this login form, you can do it here. That will do it later. And right now I'm not adding any css. Okay, later on we'll add the css. First we'll create the form. Okay, so here I'm going to copy this tr tag, and again one more time I pasted, and here I'm using for the password, and here it is password. And the password we need to make it in a dot format, right? So for that we need to write the type value as a password, and here password, or else we can use p word, pwd, like that way also we can write it. Okay, and required attribute we have to write it mandatorily. If we miss to enter the username and password, it will automatically validate, please fill up the field, like that the message will be displayed here. So for that purpose we are using this, and this is the html file. Okay, attribute. And as well as finally I need to create the button. Okay, so button login, like that. And for all the tr I'm having two tds, and here only I'm having only one td. And for that I'm going to do column span equal to 2, and then align equal to center. So if you write like this, it will automatically display the button in the center of the cell. Okay, so like this the login form will create it. See, once I'm not entered any username and password, just if I click the username na, it will validate and it will display the output. For that we need to write the form tag. If you have any button click event in your page, we have to add the form tag. Without form tag, if you are supposed to see, I'm going to remove this form tag from here. So I saved, I'm not having any form tag code here. Okay, only the table is there. So when I click the button, so the validation is not done here, the action is not happening, right? So if writing any form tag using button click event, we have to write the form tag. Without form tag, the action will not generate. Okay, and now I'm going to enter the username and password, 123, like that I'm entering. So see, when I click the login button, see, I'm having some query strings, right? Username Anita, password 123, and then I'm having hash symbol also. Hash, from where we are getting this action, hash is displaying here. And as well as whatever the username and password I entered, that username and password also are displaying in this URL. We don't have any security in this form. Okay, so once I entered any value in this text box, we have to validate, and without passing any value in this URL. Okay, then only we cannot able to hack that application. If you see in the URL, we can get the password there itself, right? So we don't have any security in this. So how it is displaying here? I already told you, no, method thod. Okay, method equal to get. Okay, if I used method attribute here using get method, I'm going to execute this one more time. So here I changed, I return the get method. Okay, so again I'm entering some username and the password. Once I click this, see, whatever the username and password I entered, I'm getting all the values in this URL. This is question mark, and after that whatever the values we are getting, this values is called as a query string URL. We can pass the value from one page to another page like this way, but only 2000 characters we can able to carry, and we can able to easily hack this application while we creating like this. Okay, so how to secure this application na? In that time we have to use the method as post. If I return a post method, see, again I'm entering the username and password. I'm not getting any values in this URL. Okay, so all the values in this, all the values are carrying inside the page itself, and it won't display it in this URL. Okay, that is a difference between a get method and a post method. And suppose if you are going to pass the value, any value you need to pass it in a URL, na, in that time you can go with the get method. Or else if you need to secure the value, we have to use the post method. Okay, and post method is a best method, and we can carry the value, lots of values we can carry it using a post method. And as well as we have a security, and it's work very slow but more secure. But if it is a get method, now very fast but no secure. So you have to decide it whether you are creating any form in your HTML page now, whether in which method we have to pass the value from one page to another page, whether it is a get method or post method, that you have to decide it. Okay, right now I completed the login form in my index page. Okay, now what next I'm going to do it now, I'm going to validate this form. Okay, so for that I need to create the check.php. One more page I need to create it. That is a backend. So how to create that page, we'll see that. Again, go to the Explorer and create check.php. Okay, and in check.php, I'm going to collect the value from the front end to back end. Okay, so this is my front end. In name attribute value, using name attribute value, I need to collect the value. This is a text box, right? And in this name attribute, whatever the values I return here, using that variable value, I need to collect the value from front end to post back end. Okay, and this form I created post method, right? So this is a client side. Okay, and in client side we are passing the value using post method. So for that I'm going to call this username in post method like this way. Okay, dollar symbol post. If it is a get method, here you used get method, na, here we need to write a get. Okay, so like this way we need to write it. And again pwd, that is a name attribute value, and here I'm using dollar symbol pwd equal to dollar symbol underscore post box bracket pwd. So I collected all the values here. Okay, username and password I entered here. Till this we received all the values. First we will check all the values is printing properly or not in a backend, and for that I'm using username colon dollar symbol username. Okay, so like this I'm going to print the message, and in the same way for the password, pwd. Okay, so now here we have to give the action name, from which page we need to give the action for check user page, right? So whatever the page name we are having here, that one we have to write it here, check.php. That is the action. Okay, so then only while we click the button, it will automatically collect all the values and it will go to this action page. Okay, and here it will collect all the value using post method, and whatever the values we collected there, it will print it. Okay, so like this way the program will execute. First we will see the output for this, and here I'm going to enter the username, password, and once I click the submit button, see, it's printing, right? So next we have to check the value, whether if it is this username and password is correct, then we need to redirect to the next page, or else we need to print the welcome message. Okay, so after that we will redirect to the next page. So in that time we have to write the condition statement in this page, in check page. So how to write it, we'll see that. Okay, Now come back to the code, and here I'm going to write the condition statement. Username is equal to I will give admin, okay, and dollar symbol pass pwd is equal to admin at 123, like that I will give the password. If the condition is true, it will enter into the true block, else it will enter into the false block. Okay, now here if the condition is true, I need to print this both message, or else I need to print sorry try again message. Okay, so here I will write sorry try again. Okay, so if the username and password is correct now, we need to print welcome, that username, okay, and password also it will print. If you need password, you can print it, otherwise you will just put it in a command line. Okay, just I'm going to print only the welcome message, and this message and all I'm not going to delete it, I just written in a command line. Okay, and we'll execute this one. I will refresh it again. And what is the username I need to give? Admin at 123. Okay, so if the username and password is correct, it will print admin, else if the password is wrong, it will print sorry try again. Any one of the condition is true, it will enter into the false block. See, now the username is wrong, so it will enter into the false block. If it is correct, then it will redirect to the true block, and it will print the welcome admin, like that message. Okay, and this is printing in a check page, right? So I need to redirect to the another page. That means I need to go to the home page. Okay, so how to write it? We'll create one more home page, home.php. Okay, we'll write the basic code, and this is the home page, and we'll write one div tag, and here we'll write one h1 tag. Okay, h1 tag, just I will write welcome admin. Okay, this is a default value. Okay, I'm going to give it here, and I'm not creating any session, and the session I will tell you later. Okay, so we can carry the user value. Okay, that one I will create it later. Just I'm printing welcome admin, like that one message. And if the condition is true, no need to print this message here. Instead of this, I'm going to redirect to the header within a parenthesis, location colon, and what is the page name? Home.php. Okay, so this is the location I need to redirect. Okay, else if the username and password is not correct, I need to redirect, I need to retain in this index page. Okay, so like that way I will change it here. Okay, and before that, here we need to remove the space after location colon. After that we need to give the space, we can write the file name. Okay, so if you give this location space colon, it won't display the output, it will display the error message. So I removed that. Now we'll see the output for this. Admin at 123. If the valid username and password it will redirect to the home page. Okay, and if it is improper username and password, it will retain in the same page. Okay, so now for the admin at 123, it will redirect to the next page, and here we have to create the calculation form. Okay, in home page how to create, we'll see that. We'll go to the code. Here we will create the calculation form, and for that we need a form tag first. I'm using post method. First we will create the form tag, and then table and tr and t, and here label fno. This is the first number, right? Enter first number, and here input colon text, name attribute f first number, like that I will write it. ID attribute, no need for the PHP, only name attribute we have to write it. And here record attribute, whether we enter the first number or not, we have to validate, right? So for that I'm using that record attribute, and this is a number, right, not a text, so I'm using type as a number. So like this way we have to create the text box. This is for the first number and this one is for the second number. Okay, this is a second number. Okay, and then I'm going to write table row table data for the button. Calculate. Okay, and here column span to align center. Okay, so I created the front end right now. First we'll see this output. See, once I refresh, I'm in home page only. Once I refresh, I got the form. Okay, everything I entered, and here I need to display the result, right? So for that I'm going to create a result.php page. I just copied this one and I'm going to create a one more page, result.php, and here I'm going to write a result. And for the div tag, h1 result page. Okay, that's it. Now we'll refresh it. So once I entered the user first number and second number, so it will redirect to the result page. Okay, and here I need to collect that value and I need to calculate it and I need to print the result. Okay, so we'll go to the result page, and here we'll write a PHP tag, and we have to collect the value from here, right? First number. So dollar symbol F and O equal to dollar symbol underscore post box bracket double quotation, that first number. Okay, like this way we have to write it. And for the second number I return here second number, right? That one we have to write it here, and this is a S and O. Okay, and here res equal to dollar symbol F and O plus dollar symbol S and O. And here I can write an echo within double quotation h1 tag. Okay, and here sum of two number is dollar symbol res. That's it. Okay, and if you need to print that first number and second number also, no, you can write it like this. First number F and O, and then second number, here it is, S and O. Okay, so everything will print here. We'll see the, will give the input and output. First number, second number, and that both calculation sum of two numbers 17. Okay, like this way it will display the result. Okay, now when I click the back button, we have to go to this page. So for that we need to add the anchor tag, and here I will write the anchor tag href. What is that page name URL? This is the home page, right? So that URL, this is the back to page, like that I will write it. Okay, see, if I entered any value, it will calculate the result and it will print the output here. So when I click the back to page, it will again go to the calculation form. Okay, so now if I need to log out, no, in that time we can use here index. This is for the logout. Okay, so again I'm entering the value. See, logout also is displaying here. So So once I click the logout, it will go to the login form. Okay, if I enter the proper username and password, it will redirect to the calculation form. This is a calculation form. So here I will write one more tr and td, and this is the calculation form, like that I will write it. Okay, and here also I'm going to give column span to align equal to center. Okay, so like this it will display. Okay, now I'm going to add the CSS code for this. Okay, so how to add that CSS code, we'll see that. Finally, I added the themes for our web page. I added the image and background color and font style, everything I changed here. So first I will log in. First see the output, and what are the concept I added here, I will explain you. So I given a value, okay, 150 150. If I entered calculation, it will calculate and print the output. So once I click back again, I can calculate another number. Okay, so once I log out, it will go to this page. If the value is not valid, username and password is invalid, it will return in the same page. And if it is correct username and password, it will enter into this block. No need to calculate the value now. Just click the logout, it will come out of the login form. Okay, so I added these things. So how I added, I will explain you. See, I created a CSS, external CSS, and as well as banner image. Okay, inside that folder I created style.css and banner.css file, and I created one header file. Okay, in this header file I include the CSS link and as well as images. Okay, once I return like this, and whatever the code I returned here, okay, that code I can include it in all other web pages. Okay, see, this is my front end, right? And for this page I included like this. Okay, include header.php. If I write like this, whatever the code I included here, that code will be displayed in this page also. Okay, that means in this header page I added one banner image, and as well as whatever the themes I returned here, that also I added here. Only one time I added. So I'm going to include this header theme in this index page now. Like this way we can write it. So if you include like this, immediately it will display the image, and as well as that CSS theme will display here like this. Okay, and in CSS you already know how to write the CSS, right? And simply return a background color and a table. I need to display it in the center, for that I return here, and I need to write the heading, height and width for the table row and the table data, for that I return like this, and I need to display the result in center of the page, right? So for that I'm using like this, and all the anchor tag color, that is log out and click back to page, like that I am having an anchor tag, right? So that color I need to display it in a white color, so for that I return here, and all the label size 25, and as well as a button themes also I return here. Okay, this code, and as well as in this header I am having an image code. Okay, this both I combined, I include in this index.html file like this way. Okay, and after login here, I need to go to the check page. But check page is a server page, it's a backend, right? So no need to write any design theme here. Okay, so you leave it this page, and no need to include it, no need to write any code here, themes code. Okay, only the business logic code we need to write it here. And after this, we need to redirect to the home page, right? So in home page, again you have to call that include method. Okay, once I include it here, it will automatically display that image and as well as themes in that page also, that I already shown you. Okay, and after that I need to go to the result page, and in result page also I'm having a display theme, right? So we need to write the include method here also. Okay, so only that thing I returned here. So like this way we need to add the external CSS and as well as banner image. In future, if you need to change the banner image, you can save the image here and go to the header file and change that image name. Okay, here only one time you can change it, and we already included that code in our PHP page, right? So it will automatically get that image and it will change, it will display that particular image whatever we are having in that. Okay, and no need to write again and again. In all the pages, no need to change the image if you used like this. Include. Okay, so now completely our web application using front end and back end, how to create the login form, and after validation how to redirect to the next page, and how to calculate the value, how to display the result, everything we see. And I hope you understand the form concept, how what is front end, what is back end, how to get the value, everything. And in next session we'll see the in another concept. Okay, like registration form, like that we will create it. Okay, thanks for watching.